Today we're going to be talking about IELTS writing. Of course, there are two different essays that you'll need to write. And first is Task 1 essay. You get 20 minutes to write it, and you need to write approximately 150 words, which will be about 1 page for most students. Task 1 always has a visual component. You're going to be looking at some sort of image. It might be a chart, like a bar chart, could be a graph, a diagram of how a process works, or it could even be some maps that you need to compare. So there will always be something for you to look at, and you need to report on the significant parts of the chart. Do not give your opinion. Don't try to explain why this has happened, but just report it clearly. Remember that Task 2 is all about your opinions, so we don't need that in Task 1. Okay, and how is the essay graded? Of course, you get a band score from 1 to 9, just like on all the other IELTS skills. A lot of students seem to fall between score 5 and 7, and you're graded on 4 different categories. The first one here is task achievement. They want to see if you can stay on the given topic. You'll also need to give an overview. You need to give one general sentence to explain the most significant thing that has changed in the chart that you're given. It's also super important that you write the data. They often give you numbers like percentages or money, and if there's any numbers in the chart, you must report on it. You'll see the numbers a lot in charts, graphs. Diagrams and maps may not have as many numbers, but they will have steps or different features that you'll need to report about in detail. Okay, then we move on to cohesion and coherence. So basically, cohesion, you need to link your ideas together, and coherence is that logical organization. So you need to organize your thoughts into paragraphs. Definitely you must have 2 paragraphs for Task 1, but I recommend having 3 paragraphs. So you'll have the introduction, which also includes your overview statement, and then I recommend 2 body paragraphs, so you can organize the information. For these types of charts or graphs, you can organize the information from big to small, like big numbers to small numbers. And then for diagrams, they often give you steps. So you need to organize from step 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Stay in order. And then for maps, you'll have to choose what's the most significant thing in the map. Is it a large building or maybe a main road? So you need to write about the larger items first and move on to the smaller ones. That's your order. So between your sentences, you'll need these linking words and phrases like to begin with, additionally, however, for example, moreover. There are so many different ones that you can use, so try to use a variety of them. Of course, you'll also get graded on vocabulary, and they're looking for a wide range of vocabulary. The higher your range, the higher your score can potentially be. If you just use the words that they give you on the sheet, that will be quite basic, but if you can think of your own synonyms or similar phrases, that will really help your vocabulary score. But don't forget to pay attention to word form. Can you change between a noun, a verb, an adjective, an adverb, and so on? In English, are you good at that? Or do you often mess up and use the wrong one? Don't forget correct spelling. If your spelling is really poor, then they won't even know which word you're referring to, and then the vocabulary won't help you at all. And last, of course, is grammar. In part 1, or task 1 especially, you need to have the correct verb tense. Okay, a lot of these charts discuss the past, so you'll need to use past tense verbs in English. Some of the charts may go into a future time. You'll need to use future tense verbs. And in the diagrams, or maybe in the maps, you may need to use passive verbs as opposed to active verbs. So the verbs are very important. You'll also need to know how to report the data, the numbers, accurately. You'll need a lot of prepositions like at, by, to, etc. And it's different if you're talking about percentages or money, so you'll need to know which one to use when. And of course, you'll need a variety of structures. So maybe you have a sentence that you can use correctly, such as it increased by 30%, but if you use the same sentences, the same structures over and over again, then they think, oh, they don't know how to say it in a different way. So your variety will not be very wide, and that can damage your grammar score. Even if your grammar is correct, it could be too simple. So make sure that you learn how to say the same or similar ideas in a variety of different ways. Maybe you change the word forms, maybe you change the word order, and so on. So those are the 4 categories you'll get graded on in Task 1, and come back next time and we'll talk more about how to get started writing.